My name is Evan Surratt. I've lived in Charleston, South Carolina for 7 years now. I grew up, pretty healthy, active, played all the sports. I did end up being diagnosed with scoliosis when I was in the 7th grade. And my aunt on my mom's side had an aortic dissection. And then my mom has an aortic aneurysm, which I knew about. I was brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed, and I felt a sudden snap in my chest, felt almost like a rubber band snap. And so when I went into the ER, I walked in saying, I'm having chest pain, I think I'm having an aortic dissection. They did an EKG, blood work, chest x-rays, everything looked fine. They were convinced it was either anxiety or a panic attack, but I knew my body and my family history, and I kept reiterating, my aunt had a dissection, my mom has an aortic aneurysm, and they were looking to discharge me, but I kept pressing forward that something is wrong, I need to stay here. So after 4 hours, I finally ended up getting a CT scan. And by the time I was back in my room after the scan, my room was filled with doctors, and they were like, you're having an aortic dissection. So I think in total, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks from this surgery. I ended up doing cardiac rehab after I got released from the hospital for about 2 months after that. I was recommended to get scheduled for a second open heart surgery 2 months later in October. At that point, they would be doing a bypass to close that hole. We're now into the new year. I was feeling fine, again, no symptoms. There was a week where I was going on walks and I kind of had some chest discomfort. And I thought, is this just from the surgery? Am I still healing? Or is this different? At this point, I felt pretty disgruntled and just sad that this has happened, and just confused and exhausted because I've been through so much in the span of a year and a half that I didn't understand why this was happening. And then when I found out that I would need a third surgery, it was October 2025. I chose to do the bioprosthetic valve, which I knew would only be 8 to 15 years. But I just thought, since it had only been a year and a half and I was having all these issues, I felt the need to try something different to get a different outcome, which is what led me to making that decision. One of the downfalls is that my kidneys were affected during this, so I was receiving dialysis in the hospital. Between that time, unfortunately, I suffered a nasal hemorrhage, which caused me to in turn get a tracheostomy. So I wasn't able to talk or eat or drink for over 30 days while I had that. I have never experienced anything like it. I was so confused and just defeated at that point. I just wanted to be out of the hospital and to get better and to get back to recovering. So with everything that has happened, I'm now 32, actually just turned 32 during my third open heart surgery in the hospital. I am still, only a couple months out of the hospital. So I'm still in my recovery phase, going to physical therapy, making sure I take my walks, but it's finally getting back to a little bit of normalcy. Obviously, I'm very thankful to be alive. I do still have things that are gonna be lifelong issues. Obviously, this is not something that's going away, but also I think because I've been through so much, I see that that's not the worst thing. I'm still lucky to be alive. I know for me, when I hear other stories, it makes me feel a little bit more comfort knowing I'm not the only one going through this. Although my story is unique in its own way, I still think it's important to connect in that way. So I was able to get connected with the American Heart Association, and since then I've been able to participate in several of their events, including the Heart Walk, as well as the luncheon and fashion show, which has been very important to me. Just trying to stay positive, and sharing my story is a huge help with that, and just knowing that my message could affect somebody and save somebody's life one day is super important to me.